What's going on, ballers? Thanks so much for tuning in again, and welcome back to another BigJBasketball box break video. Today we're not breaking any boxes because we're doing a PSA submission preview video. We got 20 cards here that are going to be on their way to PSA pretty soon. It hasn't been that long since I sent in my last submission. I think it's only been less than a month, and that submission hasn't been completed yet, still being graded. Hopefully that one comes back soon. Typically, I would wait until that comes back before sending in a new submission, but I already have a bunch of cards here, and PSA has a $15 per card sale right now, essentially. So figured I would put all these together and send them into grading and see how we do. I like doing these submission videos because I can kind of get a good idea for what I think the grades might come back at. So it's always fun to go back and watch these and see how close I was at predicting the grades of everything we're sending in. In the background here, we got some nice stuff in our last PSA submission to Denny Avdia Case Hit Rookies, licensed to dominate from Contenders, and the Kaboom. This is like a pop 2, and I think the Kaboom is a pop like 30 or something like that in a PSA 10, but obviously the Kaboom still much more valuable just because it's a more sought after set. But let's go ahead now and take a look at these 20 cards that are going to be going into PSA this time. First one, probably if you follow the channel, you saw this in a recent mail day video, 96 Kobe Bryant Rising Stars Rookie Year insert. One of his favorite, or one of my favorite inserts of his rookie year. This is the blank front. It was technically, I guess, a printing error, but the blank front and then the one that actually has his name and the Fleer Ultra logo and the set name and that stuff. It's about similar print run in terms of the regular one and the error. Centering off on this one, as you can see, it's a little right heavy and a little bottom heavy, so probably not PSA 10 centering. And there are some very slight issues, a little bit of white on this bottom edge. You can see down here, a little bit of white on that bottom corner. But as far as the surface edges, everything else looked pretty good. So absolute best case scenario, this might get a 9, but chances are probably gets an 8. So we'll see how that one comes back. Ginobili Gold Refractor Bowman Chrome 2006. I only have one more Bowman Chrome Refractor now. I need the 03, 04 to complete that set. This one, again, centering off a little bit. It's a little right heavy, but it's really close. Might be within PSA standards for a 10, but that combined with, again, same thing. It's really hard to see, but there is a teeny little bit of white in that corner. Teeny little bit of white in this corner. So I think maybe a tiny bit of white on the back corners with a little bit of centering, probably a 9. I would not anticipate getting a 10 on this one. I'll be bummed if I got an 8. So definitely hoping for a 9 on that one. This one, Denny Obsidian White Pulsar. This was a reward pack. Very low print run. Don't see this come for sale very often. Centering looks almost perfect. It might be like 55-45, so definitely within the standards for a PSA 10. And everything else looks good about this card. I couldn't really find any issues on the edges, corners, surface, anything like that. So hoping this one comes back at 10, but a little bit of centering being off. I don't know, is there any white on these back corners? Minuscule maybe, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm hoping for a 10 on this one, might get a 9, but definitely hoping for the 10. Another rare Denny rookie. This is a Prism White Sparkle. So just like the Obsidian White Pulsar, these are rewards packs that are sold directly by Panini. Super expensive packs, only 3 cards per pack. Not even guaranteed a rookie in a pack. Centering left to right looks great on this one. It's definitely off top to bottom. You can see way skinny on the bottom, top heavy for sure. So not anticipating getting a 10 on this, but that outside of that top to bottom centering, I didn't find any other issues. Everything else looks good, so top to bottom centering probably is going to bring it down to a 9, though, I would guess. This one, definitely hoping for a 10. Tie-dye, select, rookie auto, number to 25. I'm not getting the auto graded just because there's a teeny little bit of a streak right there, and I know that's supposed to be there, but I don't know if they're going to look at this extra, which is the dot on the eye, essentially. He doesn't always have that on his auto, so I'm afraid they may look at the auto and give it a 9, so I'm just not going to bother grading. It's not super important to me anyway. But the card looks perfect. I looked this thing over very extensively, couldn't find any issues anywhere, so hoping for a 10 on that one for sure. Those are really the only PC cards. The rest of the cards in here are all ones I'll probably be selling at some point. So definitely hoping for high grades on most of these. Mikal Bridges Select Rookie Auto. This is the Aqua Parallel. Just recently pulled this out of a Status Fat Pack. Looked perfect to me. Would be surprised if this doesn't get a 10. I also sent in a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, same exact set, same Aqua Parallel. That one came back a 10. This one looked just as good, so anticipating a 10 on that one. Recently pulled this Jalen Green. It's just the base from Select Retail, so it has the blue, it's the blue Select Retail. But court sides are still pretty rare, even if it's just a base, and PSA 10 pop is probably relatively low for this. And again, anything I'm sending in, if I think it's got a great shot at a 10, I'm gonna send it. If it's something that, for a $15 grading fee, if I can get 30 bucks or 35 bucks or something like that for this and a 10, I think that would be great. There's another one, Darius Garland. Recently pulled this out of an Optic Fat Pack. It's a pink, numbered to 25. It's like a third-year card, I guess, or it was, Darius Garland was 2019, yeah. So this is a third-year card, so probably on its own, not super valuable, but it looked great to me. I couldn't find any issues, and I figured number to 25, there's probably got to be someone out there that would be interested in buying that if it gets a 10. These next two, we're going to find out how PSA looks the centering on these. I know the Optic centering is very confusing to a lot of people. I've already graded a Donruss card. I'd graded a Paolo Banchero green laser that had the same centering as both of these, and that got a 10. So if I'm going to base my experience based on that one getting a 10, I'm going to assume these will probably get 10s as well. I know this border here, it looks very left heavy on that side, but if you look where the bottom border is, that right and left is pretty even. Same thing here. At first glance, it might look off center, but based on the way that I think I understand the centering, I don't know if I'm right or not, but these both look very centered to me. So I'm hoping to get 10s on both the Chet and J-Dub Pen Kuipers. Pulled these both in the same mega box. So if these both get 10s, that'll be a pretty good mega box. Also got some My House inserts, not grading any of the base stuff, but some top rookie parallels. I figure I'll throw these in. I actually got a base hollow and a purple hollow of Jaden Ivey. Now here's where this gets interesting on the centering. Clearly on this one, you can see not as much space here, more space up here where his head is, and here, more space on the bottom, less space up here. I'm gonna assume, I don't know which one is centered, like maybe this one is off a little bit and his name is too close to the bottom. Maybe this one is off a little bit and it's too close up. Maybe the sweet spot is somewhere right in the middle. But I don't know, is that bad enough that they're gonna ding that kind of centering? That honestly, with no border, it's really hard to tell. Everything else looked great about both of these, so hoping for 10s. Same thing with the Chet. So the Chet is also a purple, and it's got the same centering as the Jaden Ivey purple. You can see they both have some extra room at the bottom. Under the team name, you can see Chet's head is kind of close to the top there. So I don't know, we'll find out. I mean, maybe we'll see which one of these gets 9s and which ones get 10s, and maybe that'll tell us which have good centering and which have bad centering, because I couldn't find any issues on those cards other than that top to bottom centering. So hopefully if we get dinged on any of those, it's just for the centering and nothing else. Ty Washington, not a huge name player, but Prism Silvers, I figure there's probably not a ton of people grading these. I know everyone was grading this stuff a few years ago, and then it seems like everyone stopped, but there's still some collectors who want PSA 10s of their favorite players in a Prism Silver rookie. It's still kind of, considered one of the iconic rookie cards of most players. Back centering is definitely off, but they don't, PSA typically doesn't ding you too much unless it was way off or it was like off the card completely. I think the back centering can be as bad as like 70-30 or even 80-20 to still get a 10, but the front looked great. Centering looked perfect. No issues with edges or corners or anything like that. So hoping for a 10 on the Ty. Got a couple cracked ice. Steph, his stuff still does well in PSA 10, especially parallels. So this is a Blaster exclusive. Cracked ice parallel, same thing. You can see back centering is not great on this. It's definitely left heavy, but again, PSA doesn't typically take back centering into consideration too much, and the front looked great. So hoping for a 10 on that one. J-Dub, cracked ice. Again, coming from a Blaster, this one looked great to me as well. Couldn't really find any issues. Back centering is actually better on this one than the other few cards, but hoping for a 10 on that one. We got some Prism Monopoly stuff. We got 2 base cards of Chet and Paolo. So just being base, again, these won't sell for a huge amount, but I pulled these myself. If it costs 15 bucks to grade PSA 10s, I'm sure I would be surprised if you can't at least double or maybe even triple your money on these. And I've had a lot of bad centered ones, and these both looked really good. So hoping for 10s on the Chet and the Paolo Monopoly base. Not one of the better, definitely the best Monopoly card I've pulled so far. Another Jaden Ivey. This is the orange parallel, numbered to 124. And this one, the centering was off just very, very, very slightly. Again, might be like 45, 55 or something like that, but not enough that PSA should ding you on the centering. That one looked pretty good to me. Hopefully we get another 10 there. And very last card, we got just a base, Caitlin Clark, first Bowman. I pulled 2 of these out of the Bowman University Chrome box that I opened not too long ago, and one of them actually had pretty bad centering. You can still see it here on the bottom. You can see it's a little bit right heavy if you look where this kind of circular area is. On the top, looking at these 2 sections, it looks pretty fine. Like you can't really, if you're just looking for centering here, you can barely tell it's off at all, but it's a little off on the bottom. The other one I pulled was even more shifted to the left, so I'm not gonna grade that one. But this one looked good enough that it should be able to kind of squeak by with a 10. So hoping we can get a gem on that. So that's gonna do it. There's our 20 cards. We only got 5 PC cards and then a bunch of cards that I'm probably gonna be moving. So hopefully when this stuff comes back, we see a lot of PSA 10s. If you're interested in any of these when they come back, just let me know and hopefully we can get a deal done. But that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one.